Good cold Tuesday morning, everyone, and welcome to Garden State Weather and GardenStateWeather.blogspot.com, providing superior forecasting for the northern mid-Atlantic region 24 hours a day. I'm forecaster Robert Smith on this very cold and getting colder Tuesday, the 18th of November 2014. And as of a few minutes in front of 7 this morning, we can find the temperatures already still crashing. We find 18 degrees here in Sussex County at High Point. Other temperatures are all in the 20s right now across the entire forecast region. The only exception would be right along the immediate coast at Harvey Cedars at 30, and these temperatures are not going to be budging much over the next 24 hours. The current wind speeds are increasing across the area out of the west-northwest this morning, and that's making for some wind gusts, especially. The wind gusts this morning are already rising into the upper teens and 20s here, and these winds are going to continue to freshen throughout today, making the wind chill values very chilly this morning. You can find the wind chill values in the single digits across interior sections, into the teens and lower 20s everywhere else. You're going to need hats, gloves, scarves, and hoodies today on your way out the door. And within the last 3 hours, the temperatures have already been dropping from some 4 to 8 degrees Fahrenheit during the last couple of hours, and the winds are also continuing to increase. Near freezing right now across New York City's Hudson Bay, all the way down to the New York City metropolitan area, and all the way right along the immediate New Jersey coast. The dashed lighter blue colors means the temperatures are already below the freezing mark across all of the metropolitan area. And as the cold air rushes in with cold air advection today, that's going to temper the temperatures from warming too much. This is the lake effect enhancement of the snow plumes that will be developing across the Great Lakes with our deep area of low pressure in southern Canada, and this will be confined away from our forecast region. Notice how the winds here along the coast are beginning to increase as the air aloft is rapidly cooling, and as a result of that rapid cooling, the thermal gradient is stronger, with surface temperatures in the ocean being in the low to the mid 50s and the upper levels being so cold the winds are becoming quite strong right along the immediate coast and offshore as well. Notice the current wind gusts from our Mesonet weather stations here. Notice how the gusts are approaching the mid 30s to 40s. We have 45 knot wind gusts here out over the buoys here just off and south of Long Island, and other wind gusts this morning are ranging from the teens into the 30s. So it's a very, very cold morning outside. Watches, warnings, and advisories. We have gale warnings in effect through Wednesday morning. Good cold air advection behind the frontal passage and a strong pressure gradient between the high pressure building to our south and the low from yesterday over southeastern Canada will keep a strong west wind over the area waters during today, tonight, and tomorrow morning. The winds will begin to diminish by the morning hours, and we'll see a period of 25 knots and 4 to 5 foot seas early in the day in the coastal Atlantic waters before winds decrease to below small craft advisories. Now, Wednesday night and Thursday morning, small craft advisories are likely in the strengthening southwest flow ahead of the cold front coming in. On Thursday afternoon through Friday, small craft advisories likely with post-frontal west to northwest winds at 25 to 30 knots. A period of gales cannot be ruled out Thursday night immediately behind the front. And then by Friday night and Saturday, sub-small craft advisory conditions. And if you're traveling out of the airports this morning, do be aware that the increasing winds may cause some delays at the airports. We're already starting to receive one at LaGuardia. Due to the winds, there is some time where they're going to keep the flights on the ground for a little longer. So do check with your carriers this morning. On the aviational weather deck this morning, we have gusty northwesterly winds increasing to 20 to 25 knots, gust up to 35 knots at the coastal terminals during this afternoon. VFR conditions will be in place. We're expecting VFR conditions to continue through Wednesday and Thursday. Southwesterly winds at 15 to 20 knots, gust up to 30 knots on Thursday. VFR conditions with gust up to 25 knots out of the northwest on Friday, and then VFR on Friday night and Saturday. Right now at Newark, it's 28 degrees, dew point 11, and dropping. Relative humidity 48%. The wind is out of the west at 24, gust up to 35 miles per hour. A few clouds at about 4,500 feet. The wind chill 14 degrees. Bundle up getting out there on the terminal and tarmacs this morning. Philadelphia International 27, dew point 9, and dropping. Humidity dry 46%. Wind west 21, gust to 29 miles an hour. A few clouds at 3,700 and 12,000. And the wind chill makes it feel like 13 degrees outside of Philadelphia International this morning with VFR conditions in place. As Frank Sinatra and many others have sang, button up your overcoat when wind is free. Take good care of yourself because you belong to me. Well, you belong to yourself actually, but it's cold out there. Visible satellite and water vapor channel this morning shows the cold air in place moving across the forecast region. if we take a look at the radar, we find a few of these snow plumes here coming in from off the lakes, but with a westerly trajectory, they should stay away from our forecast region during today. From the 4-kilometer NAM Wharf composite maps here from Penn State Seawall site this morning, we'll take a look at the 850 millibar temperatures at around 5,000 feet, with the core of the cold at about -10 to -14 to 16 degrees Celsius below zero, and that is moving over the forecast region today with freshening winds at the 850 millibar level to the 40, 45, 50 knot variety. The cold air advection just continues to build over the forecast region through Wednesday, and it begins to lift a little bit ahead of a cold front moving through on Thursday afternoon, and that will mean that the temperatures will warm, and so will the atmosphere warm just a little bit. Then cold air returns with a secondary shot on Thursday afternoon, especially on Friday and Friday night. And once again, the winds will be increasing during that time period as well. And as far as temperatures go, you can't expect them to rise much from where they are right now, with cold air advection winning over the atmosphere this afternoon. Temperatures will struggle in the 20s to lower 30s right along the immediate coast, and then drop off precipitously back into the teens across interior sections, and lower 20s elsewhere during the overnight and early morning hours tomorrow. It's going to be a very cold morning out again with decreasing winds. And the temperatures will begin to rise through the 20s and 30s on Thursday morning, and by Thursday afternoon we'll find temperatures in the mid-30s to lower 40s before another cold front makes its way through the area, with dropping temperatures on Thursday night and Friday morning once again. NAM Wharf composite reflectivity forecast from Penn State Seawall site shows the snow plumes here across the Great Lakes staying away from our region, with downsloping westerly to northwesterly winds, a drying subsidence in the atmosphere, but a gusty northwesterly wind and very cold temperatures today, tonight, and tomorrow. And a warm front will be approaching the area on Thursday morning, actually Wednesday night, Thursday morning, with a few clouds. It will basically be dry. And then a cold front comes through during the afternoon with scattered cloud cover and brisk conditions ensuing again for Thursday night and Friday morning. And after next week's relaxation with warmer temperatures near or above normal on Monday and Tuesday, going right back down into the tank again, the 8 to 10 day mean of 500 millibar height anomalies across the continent and the world here, the globe, Northern America, and the Northern Hemisphere actually, showing us basically through the end of this November that we're going to have basically our positive PNA with a ridge across the western coast, and our low here off the Aleutian Islands. That's a negative EPO in place. Notice how the Atlantic ridging here is moving up further to the north and east over the northern Atlantic, keeping a trough axis with cold polar heights here on both models, both the European and the GFS, in place across the central United States. And eventually this will be building east for a second reload of cold weather as we enter December. And the GFS forecast for the next 10 days, the GFS parallel from 6C this morning, coming in from tropicaltidbits.com, which is Levi Cohen's excellent website. And basically, here's our cold front moved off the coast. Here's our snow plumes. Here's our deep high pressure cold air in place across the region. Another cold front moves through the region on Thursday morning and Thursday afternoon, reinforcing shot of cold air, but mainly dry conditions, scattered cloud cover on Thursday. High pressure builds in across the forecast region, slightly modifying temperatures and heights as we make it into the weekend, but it's still going to be quite chilly out and unseasonably cold. Now, warm air advection will try to win out with a warm front passing across the region during Sunday afternoon and Sunday evening, and it looks like Monday we'll see another repeat of rain across the region as the heights rise. The center of low pressure moves up towards the Great Lakes. Notice our deep high pressure cell right off the western western Atlantic here, keeping this entire system moving right along into the Great Lakes with a secondary area. And notice by late on Monday, as the rain moves away from the area, we find our old frontal boundary here across the south, and a very active subtropical jet stream is in place. And by the time we get to late Tuesday, rain chances will be increasing once again. This is for early next week. Rain will be moving in. The rain could be heavy at times on Wednesday, on Tuesday night and Wednesday, as low pressure rides up the spine of the Appalachians and all the way into the New Jersey, New York City forecasted and coastal waters. Some of the rain may be coming down heavy, and this would be for Wednesday afternoon, the biggest travel day of the holiday season. And then cold air in the wake with dry conditions for Thanksgiving is in place. So get ready for an active and woolly ride ahead as we go through the forecast over the next 10 days, as the atmosphere's wavelengths are shortening and the polar and subtropical jet streams are becoming very amplified and active. Very cold weather over the next 48 hours. Do bundle up. It is cold outside, and we do mean business by this. It's for everything live. It's Garden State Weather and gardenstateweather.blogspot.com, Twitter, Facebook, and Google+. I'm forecaster Robert Smith. You make it a safe and warm Tuesday. We'll be back in video form on Wednesday morning.